queens to see them, for the crowd to see them. But they man that didn't tell on them. Not saying me, because my homies helped me down. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Kevin Childs and all of them. You know what I mean? But my homies helped me down. But, you know, I've seen, since I've been home, dudes, and I'm telling them, like, yo, you know, your man locked up. You over here throwing racks at these bitches. You know what I mean? Send your man some money, my nigga. Call this girl and send her a cash app, put a couple of $100 on his books. You know what a couple of hundreds do for a nigga in a joint? You know what I mean? And, you know, and that's where it's at, man. But like I said, I just keep it 100, man. You know?
Yes, sir. You were in Harlem, in the Bronx, in New York City, New Jersey,
Brooklyn
in the
too,
80s, early 90s.
Schenectady, you know what I mean? Crown Heights.
Yeah, can you please? You was up Willie Burger. Willie Burger, like people watch the what do you call it?
Man. Listen, I'm trying
to give people like a what do you call it? A prelude to the question. You know, they seem to pay the full movie that's supposed to be, you know, it's the Hollywood of AZ, Rich, and Poe. But you were there in that era. Mm-hmm. Anything you can share with us about that time, that era? I mean, pulling up, I watched the interview with you and so many people. It's like, yo, you pulled up in the Z300 with the forest green seats. I'm like, what?
Come on, like I said, listen, man. Back in the day, we tried to outdo each other with a friendly competition. You know what I mean? Kevin Childs went and got a red 190 Benz with gold emblem, gold trim going around it, and gold hammers on that motherfucker. And then he sent it to California to get the top cut off that shit. And then he brought it back to Harlem. You know what I mean? We ain't no haters in Harlem. Niggas saluted them for that. You know what I mean? So I just knew I had to go do something better. So I went and got the 325 BMW. You know what I mean? Went and paid 40 for that. Went and got the wide body Testarossa kit that got the deep scratches on the side. I got pictures of it in a couple of my videos.
Yes,
Yeah.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel. You can see all this shit.
Like I said, so they know I ain't faking. That's why I got pictures for everything. But I went and got the BMW blown out. Remember, I told you he had the red joint. So I had to come up with a color nobody else got. So when I was in Miami, I got hip to the bowling ball, the flip flop, you know what I mean? And a different type of paint. You know, the Skittles, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, you know how the bowling ball might have brown and black smeared in it, or dark blue and black, and dark blue and light blue. You know what a bowling ball look like. So that's a paint job that they talk about that y'all don't even know about, but my Miami people know. That's what they do in Miami. They had the flip flop and the bowling ball. So what I did,
candy paint and shit.
There you go. But you know the bowling ball, I don't know what they look like now. I ain't been a bowling alley, but back in the days, they had the bowling ball that used to blend the colors together.
Like, yeah, look, I know what you're saying. It's kind of like a marble-ish.
Yeah, my nigga, exactly. So they was putting them on cars down there. So I didn't want, when I go to Miami, another nigga got my bowling ball color either. So what I did is I went and sat down with the painter, and we mixed the color where we took like white and added a little bit of beige in it, you know what I mean, to make it a pearl, you know what I mean? And then we threw a handful of green sprinkles, sparkles in that shit, and mixed that joint up in the pot, you know what I mean? And I did the wide body that color, you know what I mean? Because they had the emerald green, you know, sprinkles in it, you know, sparkles, you know what I mean? So now I went and got the seats, ripped up out that joint, because it was all green with red interior, and got the seats green and white with the green piping, you know what I mean? And all I'm thinking the whole goddamn winter, because it took them about 8 months, damn near 18 months to make it, but you know what I mean? But all I'm thinking about is, I gotta outdo this nigga Cam, because he crushed the game last year with that. He crushed the game with that. But that's how we was as ballers. It wasn't no, man, fuck that nigga, he shouldn't have put hammers on there. I would have put BBS, I would have put this, I would have put that. Nah, my nigga, that shit hot, but I'm coming for you next year. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Big shout out to Dietrich, Jamel. They had the wide, but they had the wide. Dietrich had the 560 drop top Mercedes, and he went to Dapper Dan and got the interior. You know what I mean?
Talk that shit.
Gray and white with Gucci in it. You understand?
We want to know.
Yeah.
We want to know about the Dapper Dan.
And then he got the Gucci suit. That's what I'm saying. Everything custom, son. I go in my closet right now. I still got mad Dapper Dan. When I got locked up, I told my people, put my shit up. I'm coming home, and all this shit gonna be worth money. Take all my pictures, put them in a plastic bag, because I don't know when I'm coming, but you better believe that God is coming back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never would I allow them to kill me in prison. You know what I mean? I welcome death on the street. I welcome death anywhere. But never do I want them to say my legacy is that I died in prison. Come on, son. Marcus Garvey made it out. There's no way in hell his cousin is not going to make it out.
I'm about to say, are we going to go here? You are a descendant of Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey and my grandfather, they got the same grandparents. You understand what I'm saying? We first cousins.
Relative.
It's in the archives in Jamaica. My mother's name is Mary Elvina Garvey. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no faking. Come on, my nigga. You know, it's just I grew up as a savage in the streets, you know, during the 70s and 80s. I'm keeping it 100. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I learned to read a triple beam scale before I learned my ABCs. I learned to cut the spring out of a 357, you know, Magnum to turn it into a goddamn semi-automatic. You know what I mean? This is street shit. You know what I mean? I learned to take my machete and stick it down on the side of my pants and sew a little piece of string on it so it could hold it up where I could hide it in my pants so the police can't see it. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I'm walking down the street with a big-ass machete in the summertime if I got to go chop a nigga up. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's a time that, you know, why I tell the youth, don't get involved, man, so you ain't got to make these choices. I ain't saying none of this to brag. Let's get that straight. It it is what it is. And that's why I'm telling you, don't get involved, because I hate for you to sit in the cage for the 26 years I sat in the cage, you know, knowing that every night when they lock that goddamn door, they expected me to be dead in the morning so I can leave the prison. I wasn't supposed to leave that prison until I was dead in a pine box.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but you here, you home. We here to celebrate you. You know, you sharing your story, you giving us your message. You know what I mean? As you saying, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't fuck with it. You don't want this.
And that's it. Don't get involved and shut the fuck up. The first thing the white people teach their kids is you get pulled over by the police, you don't say nothing, you ask for a lawyer. You understand? And the first thing the police tell you when they pull you over is you have the right to remain silent. You understand what I'm saying? You have the right to remain silent. So if the police is even telling you to shut the fuck up, what more do you need? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I want to go ahead with you. I hope you don't mind. But this is something that I noticed. And you're the only one that was able to do this. On Halloween, Alpo was gunned down in Harlem. You were the only person that I've saw, besides some little snippet or whatever, that actually got an interview and got Alpo, since he's been released, to be on camera. Can you talk any further about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's where the haters come in at. Like I said, man, you know, he admitted his wrong to me, let me know straight up that, you know he violated, you know, when he told. You know what I mean? Look at the tape. He said he don't like snitches, he don't like rats, and he don't like government informants. You know what I mean? That's everything he did. But like he said, he's standing on it as a man, what it is. You understand? So if a man, listen, man, if a tiger tell you it's a tiger, you gonna get mad because the tiger scratch you? If a bear, if you know it's a bear and a bear claw you because you get in his midst, are you gonna be mad at that bear? So if a nigga tell you, he gonna tell, you understand? And then you fuck with him and he tell, how could you be mad at a nigga when a nigga told you he gonna tell? You know what I mean? But like I said, but the joint with Alpo, I did that video really just to show the youth that there is, you know, that there is honor amongst men. You know what I mean?
And the coming together of.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Because, you know, anybody watched the tape, so he did a lot of contradiction, but bottom line is, I didn't want to, I got a tape where I talked to him further, but that was just a promo that I put out, you know what I mean? Just to let it get out there that he's saying that he don't like snitches and rats. You understand what I'm saying? And government informants, you know what I mean? And that, you know what I mean? He didn't stand by the code. And like I said, he's still a man, all of that. But bottom line is you violated the code. You said that when you say you don't like snitches and rats. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't, you know what I mean? It wasn't to disrespect nobody. And, you know, let me say this here. You know, my apologies to Pat Porter from the bottom of my heart. That's my little sister. I grew up with her. You know what I mean? And none of that was meant to disrespect her. I just wanted the youth to hear it from Alpo, who they was calling, you know, the biggest one out there that went against the code. You know what I mean? For him to let it be known that, you know what I mean, what it is.
And what I got from it was, as you said, your biggest message is, yo, y'all don't do it. Leave
so you don't have to make the choice. He did 24 years for telling. I did 26 for not telling. That's 50 fucking years the two of us did in prison, man. Fuck our choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only choice that we had that we should have made was not to get in the game.
Yeah. And you know.
Shit. I'm not gonna make no excuses. Nigga, I loved it when I was in it.
Yeah.
You know
and I mean, from my understanding, you know, even from my personal understanding, I mean, it is what it is when you're surviving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta create whatever you can from what.
Like I said, bottom line is, I ain't gotta justify a motherfucking thing. I was hungry and I needed food in my stomach, and I went and took it. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? So
And
I mean, those that's sitting back in 2021 trying to talk about what they would have did in 1992 and 1990 and 1988.
You have no idea.
That's like we talking about, oh, them crackers wouldn't have kept me no slave. You know what I mean? If I was back then, I wouldn't have been no slave. You know what I mean? So you back then, you wouldn't have sold drugs. Nigga, you don't know what the fuck you would have did when your mama ain't got no goddamn lights. So stop that bullshit. You know?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, you